It is the 25th of December. Triple H has put a lot of presents under the tree, but that doesn't change the fact that all of his gifts absolutely suck. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. But instead of burying Triple H, we're going to let McMahon do that. Today, we're going to celebrate. It is Christmas Day, guys, so happy Christmas. And we're going to celebrate it with a 10 Reasons Why video. And those reasons are going to be why McMahon is better than Triple H.
Absolutely, guys. I love Vincent Kennedy McMahon. He can do no wrong in my eyes. Triple H, I used to like him, but it's completely went off the rails recently.
Well, shiting on people's heads a bit weird, but we're going to just ignore that.
Nah, we're going to ignore that for the sake of the video, but I tell you what, there'll be no shiting on anybody's heads on this Christmas video.
Yeah, so Triple H, look, he might be giving us this 2024 roster, he might be giving us this, he might be giving us that, but, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, every Triple H present's like a lump of coal. I prefer quality over quantity, and Triple H, I mean, gives us neither.
The question is, do you want shite in your stocking, or do you want a lump of coal?
Yeah, I'd rather neither, but you know what? McMahon's shite's better than Triple H's coal. So with that said,
the coal man.
Let's get into it. We've got 10 reasons. We're going to go through them. We're going to dive into them. We're going to dissect them. We're going to give our reasoning. So let's move into number one, and we are going to start with the television ratings. And this is a fact. You cannot change this. You cannot deny it. This has got nothing to do with your preference. This is all about factual information, and it is an absolute fact that McMahon's time in charge of the company absolutely destroys Triple H's time in charge when it comes to the ratings.
It absolutely does, guys, alright? You look at wrestling, McMahon had it in the palm of his hands in terms of the ratings. He turned it around, right? He turned it around in the late 90s, and I'll admit, single-handedly, towards the end, the ratings did go down. But the fact of the matter is this, even compared to 2 years ago, folks, the ratings are way down. And not just because of moves like SmackDown moving away from Fox. Look at Monday Night Raw. We are hearing worst rating in its entirety. Worst rating since blah blah blah, and half the time it's always like since Christmas episodes, and we're always like, oh, what's going to happen when Santa comes down the chimney? The fact of the matter is this, Triple H is a part of the worst ratings in wrestling history, and for a boom period, it's not exactly up to standard, is it?
Yeah, and Raw went back to 2 hours. People expected the ratings to go up because the third hour wouldn't be dragging it down, but that's not really been the case. So look, you put on a crap product, you're going to get crap ratings, and there's no doubt about it. By the time McMahon was filtered out of WWE, the ratings were bad, but they are even worse now than they originally were when Triple H took over. And even if you take out McMahon at the end, if you compare McMahon to when he was Triple H's age, McMahon in his prime, he actually had great ratings. Triple H has never had great ratings. Even McMahon had all those Saturday night main events. Triple H had one Saturday night main event, and it was the lowest one. So, I mean, everything when it comes to the ratings, when it comes to the numbers, it just points towards McMahon being better than Hunter.
And this is a more level playing field, the fact that McMahon's ratings did, peter out towards the end. Because all we're hearing from Triple H fanboys, right, and the guys that ride his nose, is that it's a boom period, it's so much better. Why don't the ratings suggest that? We're not comparing Triple H, right, with his ratings to, like, 1999 and, like, years like that. Let's even compare it to, like, 8 years ago, 6 years ago, 5 years ago, where wrestling was still pish.
Yeah, numbers are down. The only boom period is when Triple H blows his nose and the entire world goes boom.
Sonic boom, baby.
Anyway, let's move in to number two. We're going to go with the weekly shows, Raw, SmackDown. These shows, once upon a time, were absolutely great. They were always called must-see. You had to watch them every week. You couldn't miss any of the action. The fact is, with WWE now, Raw and SmackDown, you can miss Raw, you can miss SmackDown, and it does not matter a thing. Look at the amount of tape shows that we're getting. It's not must-watch anymore, therefore the need for it to be live is less. You look at Raw and SmackDown now, you get boring-ass matches, you get feuds that are driving on for like 8 months, 10 months at a time, title reigns as well. Everything is just so dragged out. There's just, there's not that must-see Raw, that must-see SmackDown. Even if you don't watch the entire show, there's no more must-see scenes that you're like, oh, he's a must-see wrestler. Whenever he's involved, I must check out the clip. You don't get that anymore. Triple H has basically just turned Raw and SmackDown into house shows where the only thing he puts on them is jobber belts. Like, the tag team titles, we'll put that in the main event and pretend it's great. Where's the big matches? You used to get it with McMahon in charge. You don't get it anymore with Triple H. The Raw and SmackDown's become glorified house shows.
No, they have, and I think it's lost as well as the unpredictability. Back in the day, man, you did not know what you're going to get. See, week to week, now it doesn't matter if it's taped or untaped, you know what you're going to get, man. It's the same old shite. And yeah, January 6th, we're getting a bunch of big matches. But see, after a couple of weeks or months after Mania, it's going to be back to the reality.
And like we touched upon in number one, I mean, the ratings would suggest that the weekly shows absolutely suck and they're worse than they ever have been, and they are. They absolutely are. So, yeah, number two, Raw and SmackDown both suck more with Triple H in charge than McMahon. Moving into number three, stars. McMahon, I mean, we can sit here for 10 hours talking about all the stars that McMahon created. I can't even think of one star that Triple H created. I mean, people will say Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns was created under McMahon's time in the company. If we look at the past 2 years, I mean, which guy has Triple H pushed to the moon? I mean, you could argue Cody Rhodes, but for me, he was getting pushed just before McMahon left. So, I mean, you can say Cody Rhodes if you want, but even if you do say Cody Rhodes, he's like the worst. We all acknowledge him as like the worst main guy that WWE has ever had. That wasn't a pun there for Roman Reigns. That was... that was just legit, man. I acknowledge that Cody Rhodes is the worst main guy of all time. You look at who McMahon had: Hogan, Warrior, Taker, Brett, Michaels, missing a load of people here. Then you move into like Austin, Rock. Then he obviously created John Cena, who led the company, took charge for over a decade. I mean, McMahon was creating stars, real stars. Who's Triple H created? Puts the belts on DIY, man, and look at DIY Megastar. Absolutely not. Triple H era sucks. He hasn't created anybody.
You're right.
And there's this lie going on right now that the WWE roster's more stacked than it's ever been. It's fucking not. People are like, oh, we've got about 20, 25 guys that can legitimately main event WrestleMania. Here, even if that's the case, right? That's because you've got nobody who stands out. See if you got 20. You could have 25 guys that are capable of main eventing, but that's because the gap between the main eventers and the mid card's fucking non-existent because it's not there. See, back in the day, you had a shitload of main eventers because there was actually a shitload of guys that were really good. See now, it's like everybody's average at best. So therefore, someone who's a mid carder can main event WrestleMania because the top guys aren't even that good.
There's a fine line between getting a main eventer to the world title before actually butchering the world title scene. You can either take him to main event level, or you can bring
the main event level into the mid card.
And I think that's what's happened. People could be screaming at this video and say Gunther, Damian Priest. They're not stars. I mean, honestly, Cody Rhodes is already half created under McMahon, so I'm not going to say him. I would say there's only really one guy. Would you like the hazard a guess who I'm going to say?
One guy?
Yeah, I say star. Like, I wouldn't really describe him as a star, but I'd say Solo Sikoa. Even though McMahon definitely, he put a hang in with Solo Sikoa, bringing him up to the main roster, but with Triple H, he's had a proper run leading the new bloodline and a lot of pay-per-views back to back. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend he's a star, but I would say he's probably the only guy that's a Triple H creation.
Alright, well, you take your Solo Sikoa, and I know he's not got time on his hands, but you take Solo Sikoa against any of McMahon's top guys, and I know who I'm picking.
Yeah, I know.
So, yeah, absolutely not. Let's move on then to number 4, the music. We heard all this time that Triple H was the rock guy, Triple H was the metal guy. We know he had like a Slipknot song when he was running NXT Black and Gold, which was apparently his baby. And I mean, you just look at NXT Black and Gold and you can understand and realise by watching that show that Triple H doesn't know what a star is. All these 5'11" guys with no build, no larger than life personalities or nothing like that. But yeah, Triple H had the music back then, and we were wondering why WWE transitioned away from all the good songs that they had in the late 90s, early 2000s, and people blamed McMahon for that. People said, McMahon doesn't want that. McMahon doesn't like those songs. He wants the popular songs, the pop culture songs. when Triple H takes over, we're going to get all our rock bands back. And we've seen Triple H take over, and undoubtedly now, unfucking doubtably now, Raw and SmackDown have the worst themes that they've ever had. Both of those shows.
1, 2, 3, 4. I don't want any more.
Yeah, they've got the worst songs that they've ever had. The pay-per-view songs now absolutely suck as well. Even live band appeal, you can't get them. It's the music now just absolutely sucks.
Look at Mania, man. I had the weekend about 5 Manias in a row.
Yeah, like what is that all about? And even if you don't want to blame Triple H too much for this, but when you look at the roster's entry music, it's never been worse than it is now. Literally 10 seconds into everybody's song, and you can barely know. Half of them sound the same.
Yeah.
McMahon, when he was in charge, people actually had great songs. I'm not going to sit and pretend that even 10 years ago the songs were great, but there was better songs 10 years ago than there is now.
And the problem is, he's been in the job now, over 2 years. There's no excuse for Triple H not to be able to rectify these problems. People look, but 2 years isn't a long time. Look at the different eras in wrestling. Like, look at the swing and the attitude there from WCW kicking WWE's ass. Two and a bit years is massive. See if Triple H wanted to rectify the music problem, you get Jim Johnson back.
Yeah, so...
And give him free reign.
Whereas all the good music doesn't exist. Now that's number 4. Moving in to number 5, Attitude Era. Simple as McMahon. This was his creation. He was in charge during it, and it's the greatest era in wrestling history. Nobody will prove me wrong on that. No one will change my mind on that. So McMahon, he was the one that was behind the Attitude Era. Now we can argue who was the main star in it. We can argue who was the writer behind that, but McMahon was the guy in charge.
Yeah.
So therefore, he's the one that gets the credit. That's when wrestling was peaking. That's when wrestling was doing its most numbers. That's when wrestling's buy rates were going through the roof. That's when wrestling really peaked. Do you want to talk about a boom period? The Attitude Era, that was the boom period. Triple H has not had an Attitude Era. He never will have an Attitude Era. We've heard him come out and say that the Attitude Era is a thing of the past. He's tried to downplay it, saying that it wasn't that good. When you watch it, you watch it back, and we're not as fond of it as we used to be. And now he's come out and said the Netflix era is even better. So, like, that's what people do. They try and rewrite history. Triple H knows that he's never going to recapture that era. He knows that he can't do anything that will be even half as good as that era. So therefore, he has to downplay it. He has to pretend it wasn't that good. But it's all lies. We all know that Attitude Era was fucking great, and it was better than anything we've seen in wrestling in the longest of times.
No, absolutely. And I tell you what, man, you look at the Netflix deal, see if Netflix was around back then, they would have absolutely wanted it. And a key reason for the Netflix deal, they're getting all the old stuff, they're getting the library. That's what they want. You know, I mean, they're slapping The Rock and guys like that on the front cover. And for the Attitude Era alone, I see people on Twitter, Goldust used blackface, choppy, your PP, the Brawl for All. Oh, the Ed Ferreira made fun of JR's Bell's policy. They're all fucking pathetic, woke bastards.
See if the previous era's so bad, then what? Why are we getting The Rock? Why are we getting Austin? Why are we getting Cena? Why are these guys coming back for main event spots?
Yeah, because they're great.
If this current era, right, is so good, then see when The Rock comes back, The Rock should be in a mid-card match and Sami Zayn should be in the main event.
Yeah.
If this current era is so good. But we all know this current era fucking sucks. Nobody with a brain cell, or at least 10 brain cells, realizes that this era is worse than the Attitude Era. It is 100% factual. Right. Let's move in to number 6, work ethic. McMahon. Guy, never slept, never at the gym, never took time off, pretty much on every single show. And you know what? He led by example. He demanded a lot for his wrestlers, but you can't accuse him of not doing what he was asking his employees to do. Triple H, on the other hand, fucking never there. Tape shows here, tape shows there, gives wrestlers weeks off, months off at a time. You look at Triple H when he stopped taking the steroids. You look at his body, how like flabby he got, and he lost all his shape and all his muscle. You look at McMahon, still to this day is a genetic jackhammer. One of these guys works non-stop, the other one does not, and it's McMahon that has the work ethic.
I've never seen a guy try to create part-timers like Triple H. I mean, honestly, you look at Vince, man, he wanted everybody there. every week, twice a week. And I mean, that's why the Attitude Era was so great, right? We can hype up the stars, you know, obviously the television was great and they had more stars than any other era, right? But see if you had the top stars of today in 2024 appearing twice a week and actually having matches, how much better would this era currently be?
No, it would be.
That's why such a big deal's being made out about Netflix, because you're getting a lot of people appearing and matches happening. If you were getting that twice a fucking week, it would be so. But Triple H are you saying, Fog Wrestling, that they don't deserve to have time off for the family? Yeah, you know what? I pretty much am saying that.
Yeah,
you know
I know why. They're professional wrestlers and they're getting paid a shitload of money and they've got a great job and they're lucky to have the job and be able to create the money that they do to provide for their families. See if they want a shitey job at McDonald's that pays minimum wage, then they can get Christmas Day off. See if you want to be a professional wrestler and you want to make the big bucks and you want to be a star of a company, then you need to accept that there's going to be sacrifices with that. McMahon made a shitload of sacrifices, right? Randy Orton can talk about, oh, I wish I had more time off with my family. But here, do you regret the mansion that you live in? Do you regret the money that you provided for your wife and your kids' future? Absolutely not. So, I mean, these people all talk a good game, but I guarantee you Randy Orton would not trade his bank balance and he would not trade his properties that he currently has right now to be basically a guy that's been struggling to make ends meet for the past 2 decades. That's a fact.
See, Randy Orton's just saying this though to go with the flow, the modern day flow, and that's what they all want.
Can you imagine that? Imagine McMahon's era. Imagine the Attitude Era, right? If WCW had their top guys every week, and Raw would maybe have Austin on one show, and then he wasn't on for the next 4. Rock would appear for 2 weeks and then take 4 months off.
Be ridiculous.
Do you think WWF would have won?
Of course they would.
If the tops retire it, man. It's this whole Triple H era.
And you know what the funny thing is though? See if you actually want to do tape shows so you can have them appear more, then that'd be a valid reason for tape shows. But guess what? They don't even fucking do it for that reason.
I know, absolutely mental. But yeah, work ethic, McMahon absolutely smokes Triple H. The fact that this guy's never at the gym. I mean, there's rumours that he gets 2 hours sleep every night. For me, they're probably not rumours. I could imagine that's
probably less.
True. Yeah, so the work ethic McMahon has, absolutely insane. Number 7, celebrity involvement. McMahon had some great celebrities come in. I mean, he had Donald Trump, for God's sake, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, you name the celebrities that McMahon had, actual legit celebrities that you wanted. I mean, WrestleMania 24, guy brought in Floyd Mayweather. What a great promotion that was. Him versus the Big Show. You had the best versus the biggest.
The big, you got Limp Bizkit coming in. You got all these musical acts. Like, what do you get now?
Now, what does Triple H bring in? Sexy Red.
Yep.
Absolute fucking garbage.
Absolute garbage. You look. I mean, who's Triple H actually brought in that is like the biggest person of note?
I don't know, but I mean, remember
Snoop Dogg. He brought Snoop Dogg in.
Snoop Dogg came in before that.
No, I know, so you can't really even say that.
I mean, there was about 6 months ago where there was apparently two basketball guys that appeared on SmackDown. Didn't know who any of them were.
Yeah.
Just 2 random guys that apparently play in the NBA. Never heard of them. You just, the celebrity involvement's in bad. They've even got a celebrity wing in the Hall of Fame. But name me one celebrity that Triple H has brought in that would be worthy of qualifying for it.
Definitely not Sexy Red.
Absolutely none.
Unless it was the Street Hall of Fame, damn it.
So, celebrity involvement, 100%. McMahon celebrities better than Triple H.
Just look at the 80s, man. You got like Mr. T in a tag match. Actually, like, properly like booking movies to coincide with actual wrestling matches, mainstream attention. What's this guy do? Absolutely hee-haw.
Yeah, reason number 8, press conferences. For me, one of the worst things that Triple H has implemented into the company, into WWE. McMahon didn't have these, or at least he didn't have them at the end of the show where they were like half in kayfabe, half breaking kayfabe. They just make absolutely no sense. In my opinion, they're incredibly cringe. This would be like, look, I'm not saying you don't have press conferences because see if Bryan Cranston's trying to promote Breaking Bad, right? He will 100% go on shows and be like, here, season thing comes out this, you need to watch it. That's 100% normal. But what didn't happen was Bryan Cranston didn't come on after the episode went over and he didn't half be in character with Walter White and then speak out of character as Bryan Cranston and break down the episode and what he plans on doing next. That is absolutely dumb. Yes, you can have press conferences to promote shows, but you don't have press conferences after the show where you're half in gimmick mode.
See, when we watch old Raws and SmackDowns, you always got them, like, when Mania got announced, you got one there. Remember there was one for the 10th anniversary of Raw, and you always got ones for certain pay-per-views that got announced and things like that. That makes sense, right? And they always spoke in kayfabe. Look at the Netflix press conference the other day there, man. Like, you're right. It's half kayfabe, half not. Look at the ones after the show. CM Punk sitting there answering questions. Well, oh, this is the best bakery in Chicago. And he's like, oh, I'm going to batter Drew McIntyre and kill him. And then you've got like the women's Bianca Belair swinging her hair a bit, answering, oh, it's so much fun being out there with my girlies. Not even speaking in character. Just talking about having fun out there, not actually the story. Oh, my best friend got, thrown through a car windshield and out injured and fucked. None of that gets mentioned.
Imagine Austin comes out and he's like, oh, it was great to share the ring with The Rock tonight. I beat him tonight, but here, maybe next time he'll get booked to beat me and it's alright, he can have a shot with the title. It's like,
it's not just WWE. I mean, look at the CM Punk Tony Khan one. I mean, that was an absolute car wreck of a press conference.
Yeah, but you know what? That was better than anyone Triple H has done. That was actually entertaining.
Yeah, you're right though. I mean, that was fun, but I mean, they didn't intend that, did they?
No, that's one of the best things I think AEW's done, unintentional.
Vince, you know what though? I mean, wrestling, the cat's been out the bag for a long time, but I feel like you could at least put the cat in the bag. There's no bag to put the cat in anymore.
Yeah. Anyway, press conferences absolutely suck.
It's just cringe though. I mean, you're trying to pretend that it's real when it's not.
I know. Triple H, number 9. Triple H is a mark. McMahon is not. You look at McMahon. He knew what he wanted, he pushed it, he wanted, he had win who he wanted. It was his company and he did things his way. Triple H doesn't do that. He wants the fans to love him. He needs the fans to love him. I think it's some sort of weird, like, reverse psychology where he was a heel for most of his career and people hated him for the reign of terror, and it's almost like now he wants to get his comeuppance and he's like, right, well, you need to love me because you used to hate me, but it's embarrassing, man. Where he just pushes all these little fan favourites. It's pathetic. The biggest mark that there is. Used to say the marks are in the ring now, but honestly, I think the biggest mark's the one that's sitting backstage in production.
Yeah. You know what? It's one thing if the marks are in the ring. If they're in production and in Guerrilla, that's an even bigger problem.
Yeah, if the marks are in the ring, that's a bad thing. But if the marks are the one that's in control of the show, then the show's fucked. And for me, Triple H is. And you can see this guy's got his favourites in here. I mean, everybody's got their favourites, but the problem with Triple H is his favourites absolutely suck.
Yeah, and the problem is with Triple H, another thing that ties him into being a mark, there's just this constant, like, wanting approval from the fans. There is no heel authority figures anymore. It's almost like they've just completely cut that out of the core of wrestling across every company, by the way. It's almost like they don't want to go ever down the path of McMahon. See McMahon, see the attendance records and things like that. Obviously he cared for them, but did the character Vince McMahon care for them?
No,
because that wasn't the purpose. But see with this Triple H, his character now is everything plain sailing. We're a lovable family entertainment company, and we put on flippy dippy wrestling matches, and we're easy on the eye. And this is Netflix. Oh, we don't want guys fighting in between their matches. You've just been fined $10,000. Oh, you know how much paperwork this is going to cost me.
McMahon never broke character. Even when he was doing commentary, he was still the fucking owner, and he never once acted like the owner. When he was doing commentary, his role was commentator.
Yeah,
and he stuck by his role.
Yo, look at when we go to like Europe or a Saudi show.
This guy just has to come out first,
he comes out half before the main event or something.
Soak in the applause when it has no relevance to the story or nothing, doesn't advance anything.
I know.
But he's the biggest mark that there is. So if the fans are there and the fans are cheering, then he needs to make sure they're cheering for him.
See when like McMahon wasn't in a continuous storyline. See when he came out, it was a big deal. And you heard that music and the start, the strut man.
Honestly, you feel like turning off.
You do.
Seen it once, seen it a million times. And coming in last at number 10. Reason why McMahon's better, because it's McMahon's creation and Triple H is simply just carrying on what McMahon started and he is making it worse. Everything that WWE do, everything that they have that is successful, it was created by McMahon. From the pay-per-views, even though they're not successful enough to have pay-per-views anymore, but you look at the events, WrestleMania, McMahon, Rumble, McMahon. Now we can argue Patterson came up with the idea or whatever, but McMahon was the one that sanctioned it. McMahon's the one that gave it the go-ahead. SummerSlam, Survivor Series, everything that's good about wrestling, it was McMahon. McMahon's created all this, and Triple H was just fortunate enough to luck into this role where he has taken over. What's Triple H created? What new thing has Triple H created?
I get it, modern wrestling, it's hard to create a new name or a match that hasn't happened, but it's like, all this guy does is go to the past. He just whips out, oh, look, it's Bad Blood, they're going to love that. Oh, I'm going to bring back War Games. Say what you want about McMahon, right? And yeah, Capital Punishment, Great Balls of Fire, pay-per-view names like that, bragging rights, they're not exactly fantastic, but at least McMahon tried to reinvent himself. This guy just goes to the past.
Copies, WC, War Games. I'm going to copy a WCW thing.
Like, honestly, this guy, I mean, as we touched on at the start of this video, if wrestling was so bad in, like, 2019 and into the pandemic era with McMahon, then why has this guy not turned it around in the ratings? Because he hasn't, that's why. That's the truth.
Yeah, what new stuff has Triple H really done?
Nothing.
What has Triple H created in the past couple of years where you went, oh, you know what, that is a Triple H creation? That we're getting that thanks to Triple H.
Yeah, I know.
Right, he started doing these press conferences, but those are bad.
Yeah, there's not one new thing. I mean, people mark it about the presentation, like, oh, they got rid of Kevin Dunn. Has it really got so much better? Oh, let's show them walking backstage in Gorilla, break even more kayfabe. Brilliant. Oh, these continuous camera angles. Oh, that's incredible.
See, and this thing in WWE, it's like to start every show, they waste like 6 minutes showing the people entering the arena. Listen, we only want to see somebody enter an arena if it's someone fucking important like The Rock.
Yeah.
We don't need to see Bailey enter an arena. And see, back when wrestling was good, see if The Rock was entering the arena, there was normally a reason for that. It's because he was going to be caught in the parking lot by somebody for an interview, or he was heading to someone's office, or it was a surprise, like you weren't expecting. Oh, so-and-so's turning up in a limo. We weren't expecting him here tonight. See, now, it's like it just shows you about 4, 5, 6 people at the beginning of the shows that are going to be there anyway. And they're walking with their luggage.
No. See,
it's fucking awful.
You used to get it in the day, man. Back in the day, it would be at the end of a match, and it would show you the star entering. The limo would pull up. See now, so you're
Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa arriving.
Maxine Dupree and Akira pulling up to the arena.
They've got a tag match tonight. Here they come. DIY getting ready. I mean, what the fuck, Triple H? You've created absolutely nothing.
And you know what? Also, another reason, McMahon's no a sellout bastard. McMahon had this case against him, and Triple H just fucking
threw him under the bus.
Aye, he did. McMahon wouldn't have done the same to Trips.
No.
I can guarantee it.
Look at McMahon, he was willing to fight anybody.
Yeah.
He'll fight courts, federal governments, McMahon will do it all.
Exactly.
He'll stand on trial.
No, but Triple H couldn't even... Just pathetic human being. It's Triple H.
I mean, say what you want, at least Hogan had McMahon's back.
Yeah.
What Triple H do? What WWE do? Just wipe the floor with him?
No.
TKO. You can fuck off as far as I'm concerned.
Hopefully inject some of that poison.
They've TKO'd me. I have no interest in this show anymore. Anyway, guys, there you go. Christmas special. 10 reasons why McMahon is better than Triple H. Honestly, man, could have come up with 100, but didn't want to keep you sitting here for about 5 hours on the 25th of December. So, yeah, let us know if you agree. Let us know if you disagree. Let us know if you had a good Christmas. What did you get under your tree? And yeah, we will catch you in the next one. Beard Fog Wrestling. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you have not, and we will see you tomorrow on Boxing Day for some more wrestling content. Got a lot of ratings and stuff like that to catch up on, but we didn't want to flood the channel on Christmas Day, because let's be honest, it's Christmas Day and nobody really cares about if Rampage did under 200,000 viewers this week, because it does that under most weeks. So yeah, oh, Raw set a new record, 1.4. I mean, who cares? We've seen it for months now. Lowest rating in 8 years, lowest rating in 7. None of this is new. I mean, maybe if Dynamite did a 127,000 or something, we would have made a fid on that. But end of the day, the ratings are just bland, aren't they? Just like wrestling. So yeah, We'll catch you tomorrow. Till next time, peace.